Coming up tonight, on the defense, leader of the FNM firing back at the leader of the COI. Pintard contends they are fighting for the Bahamian people. Plus, the Foreign Affairs Minister has an update on internal investigations into the deaths of two Bahamian men in Italy back in 2019. And later, Father's Day may be over, but the love for dad is forever. Our News Weekend continues to celebrate amazing Bahamian dads. These stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Police are tonight investigating a shooting incident that has left a 36-year-old woman in critical condition. Police say around 6:30 this morning, they were notified of a shooting incident at a home on Melbourne Road in the Yellow Elder Gardens community. Initial reports indicate that a 36-year-old woman was engaged in a verbal altercation with a 37-year-old boyfriend when the shooting occurred. She was taken to the hospital in a private vehicle. Police arrested the suspect moments later and confiscated a loaded pistol. Police are once again appealing for members of the public to practice better conflict resolution. Meantime, police are seeking the public's assistance for any information regarding a shooting incident that has left a 30-year-old man of Garden Hills in hospital. According to police, the victim and a group of men were on Iguana Way off Carmichael Road around 9 p.m. last night. That's when an unknown man entered the premises and opened fire in the direction of the group. The 30-year-old was shot to the upper body. He remains in stable condition. If you have any information that can assist, you are asked to contact 911, 919, or CID at 502-9991. And a 79-year-old woman in Spanish Wells, Eleuthera, is dead following a fatal traffic accident around 10 a.m. yesterday. Reports indicate the female was traveling west along Leo Road in a white Honda Civic when she reportedly lost control of the vehicle and struck a utility pole. She was taken to the local clinic where she succumbed to her injuries. Officers from the traffic division here in New Providence will travel to Eleuthera to assist with the investigation. And Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is hitting back at Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain. Bain says he believes the official opposition can do a lot more following the government's energy deal. Bain and a group of supporters gathered outside Parliament on Wednesday blasting the government's energy deal. However, Pintard believes the opposition has been fighting for the Bahamian people.
I believe the Free National Movement played a pivotal role in doing a few things ahead of other stakeholders. One is we raised this issue quite forcefully. We raised it inside the House of Assembly. We raised it outside in public statements, not only about the deal that the government is hatching around BPL. We also talked about a matter that we don't recall any Bahamians or very few Bahamians talking about, which is the construction of a plant on Arawak Key with a view of supplying the cruise ships with LNG.
Bain also hit out at Pintard, who serves as chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. Pintard believes Bain and his supporters simply just want the opposition's job.
With respect to the Public Accounts Committee, on Tuesday, we will be on this, I think it's the 2nd of July, we'll be meeting with both the former as well as the acting Auditor General. And we will be putting questions to them on a range of issues, inclusive of this particular deal. So we've been doing our job, and we do understand that others who wish to have our job will say all manner of nonsense.
Well, government making several announcements relating to the development of the island of Grand Bahama during the 2024-2025 budget communication. Among those announcements, the acquisition of the International Bazaar, which Prime Minister Philip Davis says will be turned into an African marketplace. Well, President of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, James Carey, is weighing in on the prospective purchase. While he says there is a need for a revival of the area, he still has some concerns.
In the whole scheme of things, 30 million is not a considerable sum of money. And while it will contribute in some ways to the Grand Bahamas revival, we still need a lot of other things to happen.
Speculation surrounding the deaths of two Bahamian men who were found dead in Italy back in 2019 continues. The bodies of Al Ray Ramsey and Blair John were found in the Po River on June 4th and 5th. The autopsies reported their deaths were likely a drowning accident. Since then, the Bahamas had its own internal counsel review the files on the Italian police's investigation. But their families refused to accept the drowning explanation and continue to seeking answers. This is something Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell seems to agree with.
This is a really tough file to look at, and lots of sensitivities, and I even am reluctant to talk too much about it in public because it awakens memories and expectations which I don't want to lead. It's a very difficult case, but so much of it just does not make sense to me, and that's the reason why I keep reviewing it.
Mitchell says he's still reviewing the files, but upon completion, those files, along with recommendations, will be forwarded to the proper channels.
I've spoken to one of the parents and told them that it's up to them if they'd like to review the file, but once I'm done with it, then it will go over to the police. One of the ideas we have is to amend the Coroner's Act to allow for the coroner to actually do an investigation here, which is not presently available in our law. So that's where we are on it. I'm partially through the report myself.
When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, a hauntingly good art exhibition. Our Jean Joseph takes you inside the Turn's latest two-woman art show. Plus, Felma Gibson Primary celebrating literary excellence. We'll tell you all about it when Our News Weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
The Turn Art Gallery is hosting a haunting two-woman art show until July 6. Our Jean Joseph attended the welcome reception for The Wake of a Haunting to see what visitors could expect. He tells you more about it in this next piece.
Slavery, nature, and art intersect at The Wake of a Haunting, a two-woman show hosted at the Turn Art Gallery featuring artists Lavon Bell from Trinidad and Bahamian-American Tamika Galanis. Despite their different backgrounds, their work shows that our shared stories are similar. Through film, photo, and sculpted works, they explore the voices of the enslaved people, whom historians seldom mention as anything more than chattel. Galanis shared some of her work's inspiration, drawing a strong parallel between modern Bahamians and the colored people of the American South.
If you go to the Sea Islands of Georgia or South Carolina, you would ask those people which Bahamian island they're from. We speak the same, we have the same intonation, the same dialect, the same folk ways, the same food ways, right? And we also observe spirituality the same way. And in this work and in work going forward, it really is about what are the cultural similarities that we have.
Bell's works include a film and paintings depicting nature's rebellion against colonial occupation through crop devastation and storms. She says she hopes descendants of formerly enslaved people can reimagine their future despite the haunting realities of history.
What if we became the storm? Not just surviving the storm of colonialism or slavery, but what if we became it? How could we use the power, the destructive and transformative force that a storm is to reimagine our futures?
You can view the show until July 6th, and Turn Gallery manager Jody Minnis hopes you, too, are inspired to learn more about the untold stories.
So I hope that people come in, they learn something new, specifically in a historical context, but that they leave feeling energized to research, energized to dig a little deeper, to question, and to not just be complacent in the stories that we are being told, but to investigate them and to, see what haunts them and what work that they can make from that as well.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Gene Joseph.
Thanks so much, Jean. And here's a feel-good story for you tonight. The next young man we're about to shine a positive light on shares his remarkable journey with our Sasha Lightborn. This recent graduate tells her how he raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships and offers advice on how other young men can stay out of trouble.
Meet 16-year-old Ramiko Culmer. He's a recent graduate of C.V. Bethel Senior High School who managed to secure over $400,000 in scholarships for his future. But his journey wasn't always easy. Let's start from the beginning of his last year at C.V. Bethel, when Culmer says things were rough.
I started dropping in grades a little bit, but not too drastically, but I got motivation with my best friend. We had a friendly competition with each other to see who would get the most amount of money and who would do well in this subject and that subject. So we had a pretty good rivalry trying to see who would do better.
And from there, the college scholarship hunt began.
I heard that when we graduated, the school would be displaying how much money we made in scholarships, and I was thinking that it would be pretty nice to see that I made a decent amount of money, and that was enough motivation for me. So I'm a pretty competitive person, and I was saying I wanted to try and beat the person who got the most amount of scholarship money from the class of 2023.
Culmer, along with his mom, settled on Ozark University in Arkansas, where he will study computer science. He had this advice for young men who wish to stay out of trouble and how they too can apply for scholarships.
Keep a small circle, because the more people you let in the circle, the harder it's going to be for you to maintain yourself. So stick to yourself. You can have one or two friends, but I wouldn't recommend having a great amount of friends that can, But additionally, I would say do your research. It doesn't hurt to just do one or two Googles and try to find a shortcut. For example, College Board. If you want to apply to colleges, use College Board. It's easier to apply to a mass amount of colleges in a short period of time.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
And a big congratulations to you, Jamiko. Thanks so much, Sasha. Felma Gibson Primary School is celebrating a remarkable achievement as every class now has published authors. School officials created a book featuring a series of short stories written by students from preschool through 6th grade. This initiative began in 2023 as a project with a 2nd grade teacher, Alana Burrows, and a 3rd grade teacher, Vanderine Innes, who started with the goal to publish books to improve students' writing skills. The project later grew into an entire school initiative, which later became a major success. Today, students were celebrated during a ceremony with several reading stories featured in their classroom book, also including a dance to mark the occasion. Felma Gibson Principal Yolanda Roll expressed her pride in the students' success.
I'm very excited. Words cannot express how I feel. This has been a feat and it's been a long toil. And we're just excited that it has come to fruition and we can see the end product of what our children did today. And we wanted to inspire the children, to motivate them to, first of all, develop a passion for writing. And as they write, become confident and writing, not being afraid to make mistakes, and then to see what a good piece of writing looks like, and they can take that as a model from there.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, the love for dad continues. We're showing love to all the amazing fathers all month long, but first,
we return to the Swim Nationals, and JJ and the New York Liberty hit the court once again. Our sports weekend is up next.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here. Whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun, Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend. This is Our News. Welcome back. We recap another day of Swim Nationals, and Jonquil Jones takes the court on the West Coast. Tage Adderley is here for our Sports Weekend.
Thank you, Megan. Good evening. Welcome to our sports weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. Mako Aquatics is well on their way to a 6th consecutive nationals title. Our Sasha Lightburn was at the pool once again last night, and she has this report.
Jillian Crooks and Zarek Wilson from the Cayman Islands and Trinidad and Tobago, respectively, are part of a group of international swimmers in town for this year's Bahamas National Swimming Championships. And according to them, the meet and the Bahamas are top tier.
This is an amazing experience. I was here 2021 and I had so much fun. And then realizing that this was the last FINA meet, I was like, you know what, why not just race an environment with a lot of my friends from 2018, 2019. I just have fun with it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. This is my 3rd time here. The vibe, the atmosphere is just amazing. Everybody's nice and welcoming and I'm having a great time.
The swimming nationals also serve as the last qualifying meet before the Paris Olympics. We asked Crooks about her chances to be part of the Cayman Islands' team.
Hopefully by the end of this meet, I'll know if I'm going or not. But I'm just trying to put my head down, have fun, and get ready for college after this.
Now, at the end of day 3, Mako Aquatics maintained a commanding lead with 2,346 points over Barracuda Swim Club and Alpha Aquatics, who were in 2nd and 3rd places respectively. Reporting for our sports, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
Now we're headed to the court where JJ and the Liberty went up against the LA Sparks. We're going to see how they did. The New York Liberty picked up their 2nd straight win against the Sparks, prevailing 98-88 in Brooklyn on Saturday afternoon. 2 starters were out, but that didn't matter because JJ had another double-double, scoring 14 points, reeling in 13 rebounds, and sharing the love to the tune of 5 assists. Brianna Stewart led the team with 33 points and 7 rebounds, and Sabrina Ionescu added 24, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. With the win, the Liberty get off to a 14-3 record, the best start in the team's history. They'll hit the court again on Tuesday against the Minnesota Lynx. That's a wrap for sports on this Sunday evening. For our sports weekend, I'm Tej Adderley. Have an amazing week.
Thanks so much, Tej. Still to come, our Italia Hall talks ministry and fatherhood with a well-known Grand Bahama pastor. Find out more about his story on the other side of this break.
No travel, no problem. Summer is here. Whether you're fighting to stay cool or heating up the fun, Our News Weekend is your guide to the ultimate staycation. We're talking all of the hidden gems right in our backyard, from the hottest bars and lounges to the coolest excursions and events in town. So stay cool, stay local, and stay tuned. Tune in every Saturday to make sure your summer staycation is an unforgettable sensation. Only on Our News Weekend.
Welcome back. Well, it's that time of the weekend to prepare for the week ahead. And to help you plan weather-wise, Ian McKinsey joins us from the Weather Center with a look at temperatures across the country. Ian.
Thanks, Megan. Good evening, Bahamas. Hope you enjoyed your Sunday. Rain fell outside. Thunderstorms at this time, 82 degrees. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Comfortable feels like temperature at 76. Current temperatures across the country at this time in our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 81. Set of 83s in Allenstown, Great Harbor Key, and in Nicholstown and Governor's Harbor as well. 82 in the capital and in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Central Bahamas, 83 continuing in Camps Bay, 84s in Arthurstown, Georgetown, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island, 87 in Coburn Town, San Salvador. For the southeast Bahamas, 84s continuing in Duncantown, Delectable Bay, and in Colonel Hill, as well as Matthewtown and Nagua, 83 popping up here in Abrahams Bay, Meguana. Rounding up our temperature profile at 85 is Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. Satellite imagery at this time, we have a plume of moisture across our area, and this will continue to trigger a bunch of unsettled weather, so take your umbrellas for most of the week. Looking at the tropics right now, we have several tropical waves moving across our area. Some should enhance activity across the area through the end of the week. National Hurricane Forecast is giving this area of low pressure only about a 20% chance as it moves on to the mountainous areas of Mexico. Should wash out rainfall event. Better look now at this area of low pressure system as it moves westward, Brownsville, southern Texas, northeast Mexico, rainfall. Those are the major impacts from that system. Boating forecasts across our area for all areas, winds east to southeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas comfortable 2 to 4 feet, high tide at 9:54 p.m. tonight, low tide at 4:26 a.m. tomorrow. And in your extended forecast, Mom used to say once it rain on Sunday, expect rain for most of the week, and that's what we expect here in the capital. Highs getting up into the mid to upper 80s, lows hovering around the upper 70s. That's a wrap in evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. Well, as we continue to celebrate the fathers this month, our Father's Day series continues tonight with a young pastor from Grand Bahama who shares the importance of balancing work and being present in the lives of children. Italia Hall reports.
On October 10, 2021, my life was changed drastically.
He's well known for his work in ministry throughout the community of Grand Bahama, and while dedicated to his role as pastor of Jubilee Cathedral, Pastor Laquez Williams is also a husband and dedicated father to little Godfrey James Jonathan Williams. He recalls the moment he first held his son.
It was overwhelming simply because, you pour into others, but when it's your own, it's a little different. It's a little different, I would hear people say that, but having that first-hand experience to see my own son.
He admits sometimes being a father is challenging, but is truly a joy.
I know the value of demonstrating that love and seeing so many men in our community, because of their behavior, simply just showing that there's a lack of love. I always wanted to demonstrate that love to my son, so I would hug him, and then sometimes he would come and then he'll know, like, okay, if daddy had a heavy day today, sometimes he'll come and he'll say, come on, daddy, let me give you a hug.
As for how he balances ministry and fatherhood,
I thank God for my wife, who was very instrumental in trying to help me keep that balance. Because you're juggling a lot of balls at one time, but the priority is to make sure, and she always reminds me that, hey, this is our number one priority. The family is the number one priority, because you can go out there and try to change the world, but if your family is losing, I don't ever want to be in that place.
And for other fathers who may not be as active in the lives of their children, Pastor Williams had this bit of advice.
There are more of us who need to just step up to the plate to be that man who would be that role model in the lives of just our sons or the child that God has blessed us with, that we had the ability to bring into this world, to help our spouse, our wife, or our lady friend, whoever it may be, that you help to bring them in this world. So I believe if all men, no matter what the condition is, take your rightful place to ensure that the destiny and the future of our country be sustained as a result of the poor or the investment of the fathers today.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks so much, Italia, and thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a safe and wonderful evening.